Hey, good evening, everyone. Welcome. Tonight we got this evening we got an interesting show, interesting topic to talk about. As you guys may have seen on the flyer, there's a picture of Wesley Snipes and Shamar Moore on the flyer. Dr. Short, you there?
Yes, I'm
Oh,
here.
there he is. He's in the shadows, as they say. So tonight, this evening, we got an interesting show. We have a discussion to talk about colorism. Dr. Short.
Yes.
Which one is superior? The dark skin one or the light skin one?
Well,
The dark
for
skin one or the
us,
light skin one? Which is superior?
well, uh, we would never admit it, but the light skinned one is the one that we perceive as superior because white supremacy is internalized amongst us. We ourselves believe in white superiority and we practice it on our own, on one another. Sure, we do. And not that one is or either the other, but in reality, what we practice. I always ask people if Barack Obama had looked like Wesley Snipes, could he have even gotten into the White House, regardless of whether he betrayed us or not, which he most certainly did. Um, Wesley Snipes, had Obama been the same complexion, he would have never been president of the United States, even if America was 100% black. The way that black people think, he would have lost. They would have taken McCain.
Mm.
We have a serious problem. Not everybody.
Go ahead, Dr. Short.
So we have a serious problem. And that's what we're going to talk about, colorism. And I'm certain there are lots of people in this audience who have been the victims of black on black internalized hatred.
I'm gonna ask you: Is you said that if the whole country was black, we'd still have a problem with this. So
Yeah,
you think?
if we have the mindset that we have now, yes, we would. Yes, we
What
would. Of
What do
course
you
we
think that
would.
stems from, Dr. Short?
Well, where do I think or where do I know?
What do you know? What do you know? I know.
Well,
I you,
you know that we've got a serious black self-hatred issue. Okay, we know this. We know this. We've got a problem. We've got a problem, folks, and we need to just deal with that. We don't like ourselves, and that's at the heart of our situation. And that's standing in the way of reparations. That's evidence how we feel about ourselves, that people can be like this young man was in jail for 10 years without a trial. The trial was ruled, actually, it came up as a mistrial. So they're, um, they're not going to, well, he's got to have another trial. The way we treat one another, the way that things go, who gets celebrated, who gets honored, who gets feted. There's clearly a situation at hand that points to how we see one another, and and it's just really bad. It's not getting better. It's actually perhaps getting worse. You can see that in the weave. You can see this in you, you can see this in who we idealize. So I mean,
mm,
how does Cardi B get so much love? Who the hell is she? Why are people running to the Dominican Republic to find people? Right? I mean, what there is a preference for light, and there is disdain for black amongst us. Let's be honest. And this is throughout the Americas. You can find the same thing in Jamaica. You can find it in Trinidad. You can find it wherever we are. People who've been colonized, in fact, refuse to uncolonize our minds. I guess it's more comforting to be into whiteness.
Complexion for the connections.
Yeah, we're choosing that. There's no reason at this point for us to be where we are. There's enough information there. There are people out here telling the truth. Some of the sickness is a choice, friend. And white is preferred. What's the song by the Impressions? If you had a choice, my brother, I asked you, which one would you choose, my brother? And it'd probably be light.
Mm. It's interesting, Dr. Short. It's interesting. It's interesting because I think everybody has dealt with it, like you said to me earlier. It's impossible for anybody that's black to say that they haven't dealt with black on black racism, colorism. Definitely, if you're of the darker skin tone, you see it. You see the even how they get treated. You know, when they're trying to purchase things at stores, and you know they say that the dark skinned guy, he's intimidating. He looks like he's aggressive. Where did they get this
Mm-hmm.
from? And the light skinned guy, he's more palatable. He has finer hair, and
Right.
you know,
We absolutely have bought into white supremacy. We have. We have. And it's unspoken. If you look at even the killers of Tyree Nichols, had they been light-skinned guys who beat a dark-skinned dude to death, they probably would have slow walked going after them. But they were all dark, round their asses up, punish their asses. Had they been lighter, oh, well, he's kind of cute. He's not
yeah,
so bad,
they used to say
right?
light skinned. They used to say, light skinned guys went out in the '80s.
Oh no, light-skinned guys
It's
didn't go out in the
it's
'80s.
funny, Dr. Short, because you hear these type of crazy theories growing up, even so much so people say, "Oh, he got good hair." What the hell is good hair?
White-like hair.
Just the ways that people, the way that people even describe it is kind of feeding, like you said, feeding into the white supremacy and
It
feeding
doesn't sort
into
of,
this
it
narrative
does.
that
We're the white supremacists. White people are very insecure. We're the ones that are secure in our belief that white people are better than we are. We live it,
mm,
we act it, we reinforce it. Period.
mm, wow. So you
It,
guys in the
if
chat, I see it's a few people in the chat. Make sure you guys like and comment on
and
every
let's
day.
in fact, let's open the floor. Let's
Yeah,
talk about colorism. In
have this
fact, let's trade
discussion.
some stories. If you've got a colorism story, I want to hear it. Go ahead. It's your turn. I'm the one that normally does the talking. Now you talk.
Oh, I had a colorism story that hits home. As a younger guy, me and my siblings, they have a different father than I have. So obviously, I came out lighter than they did, right?
Mm,
And I remember as a young kid, arguing with your brothers and your sisters. Man, I called my brother black one day, and my mother looked at me, Dr. Short,
mm.
and she was a dark skinned woman, so I had to deal with that. You know what I mean? I had to deal with her checking me and explaining to me, like, look, you don't ever call nobody black Black is beautiful. You black, you just a different skin tone. And as I gotten older and then meeting more people in my family, you know, my great grandfather, he was a light, like me and you talk about. He was a light skinned man with blue eyes. You know, so you understand how the colorism is played so big in our community, how people are treated. I remember coming up like 13, 14, you know, nobody wanted to deal with the dark skinned girls. Everybody wanted to deal with them, as we would say, red bones. You know, they would say, oh, she's prettier than she because she light skinned, which is a fallacy because, you know, ugly is ugly and pretty is pretty. The skin tone shouldn't make a difference. And then you even see it nowadays as young adults or middle-aged adults, where people be like, she's exotic. She's light-skinned and slanty eyes and long hair, and she may got a BBL, but she's all fake. But it's the optics of her being a lighter skin tone. People may feel as though that she's better than a dark-skinned female. It's really as you would say, a mind fuck. It's a mind fuck. It's really sad that we have adopted this form of white supremacy, how we look at each other and how we view a dark-skinned person. And I hope that somebody in the chat is dark-skinned and they can explain it from a different angle of being prejudged. Definitely in that workplace, you know, there's a crime get committed, somebody get caught stealing the workplace. They gonna blame the darker person than the lighter person.
It's always there. Always.
Yeah, you're right, Claude. She's exotic and neurotic. Yeah, that's exactly how people feel. Like, you know, shout out to some of the brothers that have the mindset to pick and choose what they want with the passport bros. But just think, sometimes the mindset is different, where they'll feel like they going out of the country to go find them a female that's desirable, and they'll say, "Oh, she's exotic," or they'll put all these qualities on her just because of how she looks and the skin tone, like I said, from a different country. Interesting. Dr. Short, I know you seen it in that, and I used to see it. I didn't go to HBCU, Dr. Short, but I used to go to the college parties heavy. In the college parties, it was the same way, and dealing with the sorority girls.
Yes. Well, no, colorism is real, and it's nationwide. Some places are stronger than others. I would give DC an F- as a super colorist place. That's particularly bad, and it's particularly bad among the people who think they've arrived. And I also think a lot of our mental health problems have a lot to do with this whole black thing and light thing. I've seen light-skinned people that have been persecuted for being light-skinned in certain families. One thing I've noticed, if you're light-skinned and you have money, America can be a great thing. If you're light-skinned, you're working class to poor thing, you can catch hell for all the jealous ass people, you know, who give them hell over how they look. And it doesn't even have to be that. You don't even have to be. Lightness and darkness is relative to who you're dealing with at that specific moment. Okay. I had a housemate. God, this is 30 years ago. We went swimming. I remember being on the diving board and they're looking at me, and it's not like they're looking like it's a sissy thing or whatever. They're looking in amazement. It's not like I'm so super athletic, so it's not that. So I know there's a problem. Something's going on, and it pertains to me, and it's not good, and there's nothing I can do about it. So it says, you know, what was that going on in the swimming pool? I mean, you give me the glare. And he says to me, I had no idea you were so light. And see, it's true. My face is considerably darker than what I look like under the clothing.
Oh, so you like me, Dr. Short? Look, you two-tone like me. Light hands, light feet.
No. So it's considerably lighter under, but my face is exposed to the sun for the marvelous vitamin D, and I'm not trying to be lighter, but because I've met people that are light, but that it was never the same between us after he saw how light I looked beneath my neckline. Imagine that. That was the end of us being friends. Me,
and just because
we had been cool, everything's great until they saw that. Oh my God! It's just your face that's dark. You're really like you one of those light skinned niggas. Like I was in a gang. I'm in a gang. Go around. You're dark. Fuck you, darky. Dark. So I'm like, I was blown away by that. I was completely blown away that we live in the same house, we cool, share food, whatever. And apparently it was once they saw the actual color outside of the sunburnt stuff, shit, you're not with us. You're on the other side. I'm serious. I haven't heard from him since. Basically, not too long after that, they like moved out and didn't hear from him. Nope. So he had friends that were white. But when I think about it, he had no friends that were light skinned. I'll deal with the white person, but I won't deal with the light skinned person. And to me, I don't consider myself light skinned. I consider myself sort of average, sort of in the middle. So and by the way, dude was a coon. And so I'm thinking, anyway, so you have that situation. I know situations. I'm thinking, I used to go to Head Start with my cousins way back, late 60s. The lady that headed up she hated me because I was lighter than some of the other kids. And I can remember this story actually happened. And certain people didn't like you at that age, like 4 years old, tripping off of what you look like to show you how sick the stuff is in families. I remember us running to the bathroom, and there's one boy who's particularly aggressive towards me. I mean, at that age. And I remember us trying to get to the urinal, and I got there first. And he shoved me out of the way to be the first one to piss. But he accidentally zipped his dick up in his zipper. This actually happened. He caught his dick in his zipper at that age. And he was screaming and crying because, I mean, shit, your penis is sensitive. And when the teacher came in, he said I did it, and no one else did, but that teacher didn't like me. She basically threw me out of the place. She literally wanted to believe, based on, I guess, my skin color, that I zip people's dicks up. That was the last time I was ever in the Head Start thing. I wasn't welcome back. By the way, my cousins didn't vouch for me. So yeah, this could be in family. People are angry at how you look in your own family, will sell you out. Even if you're not one of these people tripping, I'm lighter than you, I'm better than you. And I have a cousin, I won't call the name, but they would like bully everybody, mess over everybody, insult everybody. And one day, she just kept insulting everybody, and I basically said that her real father was Uncle Remus. Remember Zippity Doo, right? And you know what? I want to tell you, this happened in the early '70s when I busted just one black joke, just one. We have never been cool. 50 years later, it's still not right. But they started this shit to me, they always say Randy can't fight, but he can make you feel bad if he talk about you beat your ass down with the mouth. Yes, just one blacky joke. And it just took it out.
It's a lot of people, Dr. Short, in the chat. They might not admit it, but they was calling dark-skinned people African booty scratchers when we was kids.
They
I was calling the dark-skinned people some names. Come on, you guys in the chat.
Yeah,
just a minute.
Some people did that. To me, I'll just be honest with you. I would only do a B bomb, a black bomb, if you started and you bothered people, right? Otherwise, I think dark-skinned people are like the better-looking black folks. For me, I've always felt that way. The dark is better and better-looking, more healthy. I mean, to me, if you come up, and I've met other people who are medium to light. I know a lot of people who thought that the darkest-skinned black people were the pretty ones. Truly, if Africa's all the stuff we talk about, Africans are dark, then the person that really had it going on was the very dark-skinned person. And that's still my preference. Of women is the blacker, the better. Light is okay, but black is. But you see, a lot of people that are dark-skinned don't think they're pretty, even if you're pursuing them. They think you're trying to do a practical joke.
Yeah.
And I want to just say that there's reverse colorism. I've seen people that are dark-skinned that are mean to everybody because they presume. There's a guy I know who's Nigerian and black, and I was working at that point in the program with at-risk young people. And one day he spoke to me, and he basically was trying to find someone he could talk to because he felt paranoid that everybody was tripping on him being black, a dark skin. And he mentioned to me, and I says, yeah, I see it too. I says, you're not wrong. And then I haven't heard from him much, but I said to him, not everybody's into colorism. There are things that you should look for when you're very dark in complexion if you're worried. The people who aren't anti-you, they look you straight in the eye, they talk to you, they communicate, I'm cool. If you spend all your time only looking at their complexion and trying to judge them off their melanin count, you're going to miss that they're people who are not anti, but are pro, are friendly. Says, I've been speaking to you for 2 weeks. You've never spoken to me before today. I said, so you've been screwing me for 2 weeks. For 2 weeks, you haven't. I've said hi, and you go right by. I says, is it that you don't hear people that are lighter than you when they speak? I mean, you're a stranger to me. I can't go but so far, in particular as a man, respect your territory and your space, right? I'm not, if I say hello, how you doing? I mean, if I try to shake your hand, I'm beginning to get too close without being clear whether you want anyone speaking to you. Come on, we men have to give each other space to move around. Stay out of someone's territory that's too close. So if you don't speak, then I figure, well, maybe they don't talk to people. Maybe they want to be alone. I says, but if you do this everywhere, it is maybe people are not saying that you're dark. They don't like you. Just figure you're a loner type person. Leave them alone. Do you get where I'm coming from? There are a lot of people walk around thinking that they're ugly, acting like they're ugly. I'm not trying to be funny, but if you've ever gone into the store, or if you have ever noticed, there's certain sorts of jobs this society gives to people sometimes, and they look a particular way. Like a policeman, someone that's gonna like give you a hard time. I'm not trying to be funny. Gonna be a dark-skinned police officer. Okay, motherfucker, get up. And just they're mean, they're ruthless. I'm not saying all, but you've never experienced that where
Oh,
you
definitely.
see,
I
it
seen it.
seems as if they put darker skinned people in to mess over people. It's the same way DeSantis, the governor of Florida, has that Negro, Allen. He's very dark skinned. He's a Caribbean, but he's the one saying that black people learn skills as slaves, that they get certain types of people. They may be Clarence Thomas's complexion. When they want to hurt people, you put blacker people in there. And if they want to put a nice person, I mean, and this is even in the movies. If you have a movie, the black person's going to be, the darkest skinned black person is going to be the villain, and the nice person's going to be the like in New Jack City, Wesley Snipes is just ruthless. Alan Payne, his friend, the little lighter one, is friendlier. He ends up killing the really nice friend of his who's not that dark with kind of nice hair. That this plays out constantly
Mhm.
in
And
the
they even do it in sales as well.
it,
I remember when you ever go shopping, it's a certain complexion that'll always be a greeter,
right.
certain complexion that'll always be trying to real helpful towards you. And
Mhm.
they know it. They actually hire a lot of these jobs will hire a specific definitely when it comes to hiring black people, they will hire a specific complexion for a specific reason. Because they
Mhm.
feel like if definitely when you're dealing with men as the consumer, they'll feel as though, oh, she's prettier, she'll attract more guy
And,
customers to come in the store.
and it's the same thing in the men's department. They won't have a dark skinned dude that helps the suits. They'll get a person that's brown to light. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Um, if you start looking at who we've celebrated as beautiful, Philip Michael Thomas, Shamar Moore, you start looking, and even if you get, say, a Denzel Washington, they can be brown, just not too brown.
But even Dr. Short, the wording changes up. The darker you get, it goes to he's not a beautiful man, he's a handsome man.
Mhm.
Or he's attractive, or he's nice looking for his age. They'll start changing the whole adjectives when they describing the person.
Or,
Like they'll,
but it
like you said,
starts
you use
even
Shamar Moore.
before. If they talk about a beautiful baby, you know that that baby is not very dark.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I'm looking at this, and it's rough. You get great actor, uh, Isaiah Washington, him and Wesley Snipes should should be 10 times bigger than what they are. They can do it all. Active, you name it, they can do it. Whatever. And yet you can get someone that's a little lighter and they get all this damn love. It's outrageous. Um, there is a guy who should have made it as an actor, went to school. His name is Grievous. He's from Oakland. He's in the Remember the Time video. The man has this incredibly deep voice. That the guy's statuesque. He went to Howard with us. He was a giant. I mean, he's just awesome all around. He's in the movie Poetic Justice.
Okay.
Oh, he's from Nova Scotia, Canada. Hey, Hilda Curry. I got family in Nova Scotia. Let's chat for a second. Are you in Africa Town, Hilda? Give me a response. And a lot of the people who are in Canada were taken out of North Carolina and Virginia by the British. Some of the names are Brooks, Gray, Campbell, Edmonds, Short. Literally, I got people up there that got moved who fought for the British. I don't know any of them, but I know they're there. So the person in Nova Scotia, see if they can give you a response, brother.
All right. Yeah, like Dr. Short said, Hilda, are you in Africa Town? She's in Annapolis Royale.
Okay.
Annapolis Royal Lot.
And where is that? Because I've never been to Nova Scotia, but I've always wanted to go. You should invite me up there. I don't have any friends there. A buddy of mine goes up. My friend, Malcolm X's assistant, Peter Bailey, goes up there. I know they have a historical society in Nova Scotia.
Oh,
I just don't know. I don't know the people. So Annapolis Royal Lots, that means that they're loyalists. Hilda, are you a descendant of loyalists?
She said, I would love to talk to you. I know a lot of those names.
Well, Hilda, why not email me? It's pretty easy. And let's chat. I've been to Canada about 6 times. So I've been to Montreal and Vancouver and Toronto, but I've never been to Nova Scotia. So wrandyshort@gmail.com. I will happily, I've always wanted to go up to Nova Scotia.
So you
because,
guys, go ahead, my bad, Dr.
So yeah, if you don't mind, Hilda, drop me an email, or you could send it, and if there's a way to communicate, send it to Brother Q here. I would happily talk to you. In fact, I have a couple of books, but I do have Canadian family on different sides. In fact, they've got colorism in Canada too. It's everywhere where Black people have been ruled by white people. You have colorism, and it is. I've seen colorism in South Africa. I've seen colorism all over. No. That is one of them. But give them the other email, which is W. Put the W in front of randyshort@gmail, because I may not check that other Gmail thing. I don't always check it. And so, yeah, I've experienced colorism in Canada. Is deep. And you have not just colorism, you also have, you have it here too. You have people from the Caribbean, Afro-Canadians, Francophone Africans, and you've got an interplay between how folks deal with each other. Plus, you have a whole bunch of people who are descendants of people who are from the U.S. that went to Canada that are passing. So they have a heavy, funky colorism thing up there. And unfortunately, yeah, wrandyshort@gmail. Yeah, drop me. My best friend that lives in Ontario, I've lost contact, was from Barbados. Her name is your first Black senator in Canada, is Ann Cools. And we can just talk about colorism. But anyway, let's get back. I promise if you write me, Miss Curry, I'll write you back.
Hey,
I
Dr.
will.
Short.
Yes.
You mentioned it, Malcolm X, and I want people in the chat, maybe we got to open up our minds a little bit here. And I'm not saying that nobody's mind isn't open, but a lot of our so-called leaders who've been pushed to the forefront they were pushed to the forefront because of their complexion. Dr. Short, excuse me. Dr. Short, you want to explain that?
No, I'll let you explain it.
We had a little chat about it. I know I had noticed
Yeah.
it.
Oh my, I'm trying to stay out of that. Ooh, Jesus.
I know that a lot of people may not
not
understand this, and I don't want to get into the workings of how some of the things in the Nation of Islam is ran. And I know that a lot of people may get upset with what I'm saying, but there was a lot of conversation when Dr. Khalid Muhammad, before he got quote unquote kicked out of the Nation of Islam, that people were upset because he didn't have the complexion to be basically the forefront speaker of the Nation of Islam. Now, I'm not accusing nobody of nothing, but it's interesting because we have to understand it. This even went on during the time of when Malcolm was the spokesman for Elijah Muhammad. Some people didn't like that he was lighter than a lot of other people. So this colorism thing is deep. I know that even though now we don't want to get into this discussion about the politics of Du Bois and Garvey, but their complexions played a major part in their attacks on each other and what was being said and what was quote unquote more palatable to the mainstream Black Americans. Oh, he's lighter, And I used to be a member of the Urban League, so I know what I'm talking about here. I was a member of the Urban League when I was 14 years old. I was in the junior Urban League, and then I, was in there for some time. I know how
I call them
they
urban greed.
I know how they play. The local chapter that I was in, we had a woman, a dark-skinned woman. She was a great leader, in my opinion. But I seen, even when you go to the national stage of that organization, of how they will elect a person sometimes that they may feel, and Dr. Short and Dr. Winter speak about it all the time, that some of us want to be white so bad that we put out people there to assimilate, people that's going to assimilate to that. So we got to be very,
remember
very...
Whitney Young was one of the heads of the Urban League. He was light-skinned with wavy hair when it was at its peak. Whitney Young, by the way, Jesse Jackson was there when he drowned off the coast of Africa at the beach.
Well, Claude, you're right. White is laughing at colorism. You want to identify with them. This is indicative of groups diseducated by parasites. However, Claude, I agree with you 1,000%. But I think that on a micro level, it is bigger than that. Your answer, what you said, because like Dr. Short said earlier, we are selling white supremacy when we deal with colorism. We're the salesmen.
And the enforcers.
When we looking at somebody from the complexion of the skin and saying, oh, he blacker than me or he lighter than me. Yeah. So white supremacy really don't have to do anything. It's no more. We know it's there. We know that it's been put in place. But when you think about it, every race has assimilated except quote unquote us, or ethnicity has assimilated. So some of us try to assimilate. Some of us literally, and we're not talking about education wise, literally people don't want to deal with Black people. Some people will take their money
Black
and go
people
elsewhere.
don't want to deal with Black people. And so if we're going to deal with our history, let's be honest, most free Black people before the Civil War were either light skin, mixed race. They were something, they were not, they were not Black folks were 100% whatever, indigenous, Aboriginal, African. The way to get access, you had to get it through white people. And I was reading to that.
The Blue Vein Society.
Well, the paperback, all of it, but just let's be honest with with ourselves that the black freedom has tended to come through white patronage, white acceptance, and those are the people who got. And to be free, you had to get on terms with white people. And if whites don't like black people, you have to dislike them too. But the leadership that was either light skinned or mixed, again, whether it's Obama, whether it is Cory Booker, whether it is Kamala Harris, who's not even black, whether it's Adam Clayton Powell, who stood up and was very good, and that's probably why they gave him hell, or Augustus Hawkins, light-skinned congressman for many years from California, who was so light you could barely tell. Or remember that one from North Carolina, the one that looked like the Frito Bandito, had his sombrero blow off in a rainstorm? Butterfield from North Carolina. I'm serious. That dude looked like he sold corn chips. If you didn't know he was black, you would think that this dude should have one of those taquito stands. If you look at when they got rid of Cynthia McKinney, they put in Hank Johnson, who's lighter with a different grade of hair. When they got rid of the congressman in Alabama many years ago, they replaced him with a lighter black dude, although the hair was still jacked up. Sometimes either being everything in this society is structured around whiteness, and we feel it more than anybody else. And so we are the greatest adherents, practitioners, and enforcers of white being better. I always try to remind people that Malcolm X, whether you want to criticize him or not, he was making a statement when he married Betty Shabazz. He married a very dark woman. He clearly didn't want light-skinned kids. He clearly wanted Malcolm. He's going to bust up. There are black people who marry darker people to try to get rid of the white look in their family.
Shoot, I know Dr. Shoot, I know a young lady that before she got married, she told me straight up she would never date a man that was not Black American, right? And she wound up marrying this brother that's Haitian, I know. But she was adamant on it. She actually had a boyfriend who she didn't know he was Haitian for like a year. And when she found out he was Haitian, she broke up with him. Like, she was adamant, and she's of the lighter ilk, but she was very adamant of it. And you got people that's like that, that won't date. They'll tell you, they look at somebody that's dark skinned, and it's a deep thing. It's really sad. And I wish everybody in the chat would engage and really explain.
Yes, and let's talk. Let's take some questions because we can go somewhere. Let's take a good hour on this. But who do you guys think? I mean, don't you see colorism? Come on, if you see colorism, give us some sort of symbol. If there's colorism in this show,
give us a thumbs up.
Give us some examples of what it is, because I see it. I see it all the time. It's really bad here in D.C. It's really bad at Howard University. Howard's not too far from me. It's bad in the D.C. city government.
You see it.
It's bad, and it's everywhere. It's constant, and it's constant. It's everywhere, and it's ugly, and it's still, no matter whether people admit it or not, it's weighed in favor of people that are lighter, typically. Although I've seen lots of really cool, wonderful black people who catch hell over how they look. And so sometimes a person can call and tell me they were having a difficult time with someone, and I'll ask, could you describe the person that's giving you difficulty? Because I'm thinking, okay, this is a light-skinned person that did this. I know it is. And you end up being right about it. And it's like,
Hilda said you have a place to stay when you come up there, Dr. Short.
Yeah, well, actually, send me an email. Please email me. It would be wonderful to communicate. And because I want to say to this sister, and I'll keep repeating this, the only people that fought for Black Americans to have freedom are Black Canadians. Over 40,000 Black people from Canada came to the United States to serve in the United States Army to fight against the Confederacy. 40,000 people or more came from Canada. The people from Canada came down in 1812 and fought in the British Army trying to overturn the United States in exchange. They thought there'd be freedom for Black Americans. Black Canadians worked with Black Americans to fight guerrilla warfare here down in the DC area, trying to overturn slavery. When we talk about tethers, the only people who haven't kicked or dogged Black Americans are Black Canadians. I'm not saying, now a lot of Canadians now are from other places, but the long-term Canadians have been cool. We should know more about Blacks in Canada. A lot of us have family in Canada we don't know anything about. I have been doing genealogy, so I've got a couple of people, even people from Canada came down and sometimes would even buy people out of slavery and take them to Canada. It's, we need to talk about good things now. So no,
Yeah,
we really, I mean,
couple of your statements are
40,000 plus Black Canadians came down to die for us. For us. We don't get taught this. That's the only people that literally says, I'm free, but they're not free. Give me a gun. We're going to shoot this thing out. We need to honor our brothers and sisters in Canada. Nobody's ever done anything like that for us, just them. And we're not taught. You need to learn. Canada has racism. Canada had a Ku Klux Klan. Canada had segregation. They ended slavery earlier, but Canada's for real. They have police brutality in Toronto, and even that. But people should be aware, and there are plenty of people. So there's a need to know that history. I have a couple of books on Black Canadians. Maybe we could do a show on that and talk about Blacks in Canada. But I don't know how many they are because people always lie about our numbers wherever we are, but that's an incredible history there. Okay, y'all, come on, talk to me about what's going on. And we can tell more about colorism. I can tell you right now that Karen Bass in Los Angeles, part of the reason that she was able to get that mayoralty is looking at her, she's not that dark, and she could pass herself off as a Latina, although she looks like Uncle Fester from the Addams Family. She does. She has the same face. If you look at Beyonce, she's not the best singer. She can't outdance Janet Jackson. But Beyonce's light skin, long hair, and from that New Orleans high yellow Creole thing. And I'm not taking out, Beyonce's talented. I'm not trying to take nothing from her. Look at all the love and loyalty to Beyonce that, Whitney Houston never got it like that. Never. Nobody talks about Beyonce being a sellout or not being black enough or whatever. Remember Whitney Houston? People know you need to do that. It's really interesting.
Mm-hmm. And then you even see it, Dr. Short, with some of our
Hold it. Here's
brothers
something.
and sisters.
Hold on. I saw a report that the Obama administration ran an audit that said that blacks were 49% of the U.S. population. I don't know about 49% of the population in terms of what you can look at, but a significant part of people who call themselves white are not white. And with the DNA test, a whole lot of people know that they're not what they look like. There are huge numbers of people who call themselves white, whose ancestors are black people. Just do a DNA test if you can check out your cousins, because I got a bunch of them. I'm talking about people that I just would know would be in a Klan rally, eating hot dogs, celebrating burning me alive, that are our cousins. I mean, I'm serious. And I talk to relatives who are white, like one of the white people in my family owned 300 black people. Damn. 300 people. And I was talking to her. I haven't heard from her in a while. As it's 300. Damn. What was he doing? And I want to say this to you.
Y'all a mini city, Dr. Short.
I mean, that down in North Carolina, I just want to say, look, I'm trying to be real about this because I got to be.
I saw that article.
I would love to see it. Let me just do my situation. My great aunt turned 96 Friday. Her name is Ruth Brooks Lancaster. She's 96 years old. She lives in Accokeek, Maryland. She was married to my grandfather's brother. And within the last year and a half, no more than a year, I was with my great aunt, and she proceeded to tell me that my great uncle used to beat her, and he hated my favorite older cousin named Teddy Theodore because he was dark. And my great aunt, my grandfather's older sister, was married to a dark-skinned man. And I think she was so evil, he shot himself in the head. Okay, you said you're from Virginia? Yep. Okay, yep. We Black Indians, yeah, it's true. This man shot himself in the head because my aunt treated him so badly. My great I believe great.
I'm gonna send you the article, Dr. Short. I just put it in the chat.
Okay. My great grandfather dumped his black wife, giving her nothing, to be with the white woman. So my grandmother, that lived to be like 114 years old, died in the care of a white family in Philadelphia because she was dumped by her husband because she wasn't white. Within the last year, I have discovered I had a whole branch of the family where one of my great grandfathers had a black and a white family, a black and a white woman at the same time. And one family decided, or the one was mulatto, whatever, they decided to be white. I believe that they passed themselves off as white and became slaveholders. So my best buddy in Oakland hooked me up with one of my cousins who's in California, who were basically owned by black people passing as white. This bullshit. I was very embarrassed because I'm thinking I I I just couldn't do
What did you
anything
tell me
like
on the phone that day? You was like, I can't believe this.
I was just so upset. No, and there's another one that owned people. It's awful. So a lot of black people who come from these established families, they too have exploited and hurt black people. You know, one of our ancestors, my mother's family, the white people they, they were slave traders. They had slave ships. They owned almost 100 black people in Charles County, St. Mary's County, Maryland. Trust me, I'm shocked. I mean, I was rocked, but it's just, damn, that's me? Shit. I don't want anything to do with that. And
check
it's
MB1 family. This one brother said, my third great grandfather was a blacksmith in Albemarle.
it's Albemarle County. It's Charlottesville.
Okay. I know where that is. I
Yeah.
know where Charlottesville is.
Yeah. Okay.
Who's the
Well,
slave?
Douglas, I lived in Charlottesville for 3 years. I lived in Charlottesville. I went to UVA twice. So I lived in Charlottesville for 3 years. And Albemarle County is racist as shit. Remember we were talking about counties where shit's all backwards?
Yeah.
Albemarle, goddamn. I'm the black Shenandoah.
That's where the small towns is at, Dr. Short?
No, I forgot about that. So I lived in a small town in Virginia, small town in Tennessee, small town in Massachusetts, small town in Maryland. Oh, shit. And been in small towns. The shit is backwards. Be careful. You can get fucked up in a small town. That's why niggas move to big cities. There's strength in numbers. The small town, damn. So let me see. In Tennessee, small towns, yes.
You know, Dr. Short, my grandparents was from Georgia, Lumpkin, Georgia. And my
you know what? Lumpkin, Georgia. There was a funeral in Lumpkin, Georgia 2 years ago. This time, I wasn't able to go to it for Glenn Ford, the guy who used to write for Black Agenda magazine. Is from Lumpkin, Georgia.
Oh, okay. So my grandmother, before she passed away, they moved from Lumpkin, Georgia to Chicago, and Chicago, New Jersey. But my grandmother was adamant she would never go back to Lumpkin, Georgia.
Well, my grandmother, they didn't go back to Washington, Georgia for like 60 years. My grandmother left at 16 and didn't go back down there until like 96.
Wow.
How about that? I mean, that is, wait a minute. That's more than 50.
Woo.
She left in 27 and went back.
Valley.
It's about the Shenandoah Valley is racist as shit.
Woo.
Augusta County, no, it's worse than the belly. And up there, the niggas pick apples, not cotton. It's crazy. I mean, West Virginia, damn it. I've been up there too. No, I don't even mess up over in there. I mean, it's just so bad. It's really bad. I mean, the leaves and shit are nice on the tree in the fall. I mean, Luray Caverns and shit is underground and not many white people there. But other than that, it's hell. It's really, really hell. Look, I lived in Northern Virginia, but the thing is where I lived in Northern Virginia, you had these things called SAMs. Chris G, a SAM stands for Southern Appalachian Migrant. When these people couldn't cut it in the hills, they started moving close to DC. Those folks, they were more, I mean, they were so Nazified and anti-Black, the white people were ashamed of them. White folks that hated Black people were ashamed of the people from Appalachia. I'm not trying to be fun. We're talking about people that thought toilet paper was newspaper. I mean, just you just people when they want to, they would be scandalized watching TV, watching the dating game when they realize the people that they're dating are not family members. He's not trying to go out with that fine dog. This shit. Damn. The people don't have any teeth. It's come on, man. Talk to me, Chris G. It's great. These people have sex with their kids, with their pigs, with their brothers and sisters. If anybody's going to hit up my sister, she's the finest girl, it's going to be me. Really. And the Black people there, they just have to try to get the fuck out. They all went to Ohio. They just get out. Get out of there. Don't stay. Black folks are literally, they just like, if the Black folks in Shenandoah, they're maybe about 10%, they don't stay. And there's colorism and stuff up there. Now, the Black people that can make it in Shenandoah, it's the same thing. The white people are more tolerant if you're kind of mixed. If you're just uncut Black, they just really can't even bear the sight of you. If you're sort of lighter, that's the other thing. They have a little more mercy. Not necessarily, but they could. They do the same thing that Black people do. If you're just not 100% Black, maybe I can stand you. But you can't be too Black, too strong.
Or too proud.
Well, same difference. Pride comes before the fall. I want to talk about
you there, Dr.
make
Shark?
their kids. Huh?
Oh, I thought I had lost you for a second.
No, a lot of people put ambi cream on their kids and all that to lighten them up.
Oh, bleaching.
A lot of Black folks have those things, Tina Tots. They also have Jack and Jill to make certain that their kids marry light skin. A lot of people put their kids in schools, private schools, Catholic schools, Montessori schools, anything to keep their kids away from other Black people. And they send them off to college, like they'll send the kids to school in Nebraska or Wisconsin. So hopefully they'll come back with a white girlfriend or white boyfriend. And in reality, those things don't work any better than when they're with the Black person, because people are people. Come on, y'all, talk to me. We want to hear some stories on colorism.
There you go, Dr. Short. We had the Negro Act as well, the Enfranchisement Act, which had devastated us as people in Nova Scotia.
Well, I recall, talk to me about colorism in Canada. How does that work? Because I know when I deal with people in Canada, a lot of them, especially from the Caribbean, man, let me tell you something. Having a white woman is like splitting the atom.
I go into the African store for shea butter and it's filled with skin bleaching.
Yeah, that's skin bleaching creams were more or less driven out of retail by Black Americans through the Black Pride movement. But the African and Caribbean immigrants have brought that stuff back with a vengeance. Africans and a lot of places, skin bleaching, it's almost universal, especially if people want to be beautiful. Black, if you think Black is ugly in America, go abroad. In fact, they even have laws in certain countries to crack down on that, but you'll find that skin lightening cream is still being sold in tremendous amounts. Every year, the amount for Kamala's people in India, skin bleaching cream goes up, the sales. In fact, there's a major issue of colorism that people are beginning to talk about in India. It is a global phenomenon. When you see the Indian Bollywood movies, you almost never see the dark-skinned Indians except for if they're criminals. Skin bleaching cream isn't used by Black Americans, but I know it's heavily used all over Africa. Nigerians buy more blonde wigs. With this feminism and LGBTQ and the decline of consciousness among Black people, a lot of this stuff is coming back here. You have to understand that culture can be lost in a generation. There's a whole bunch of self-hating Black people who are in charge, who are running things that are promoting this. One of the worst people, one of the greatest enemies of Black people in history is Bob Johnson, who owned BET. If we were to have a government, his ass would be in a Nuremberg docket somewhere. I know I'd like to be the judge and shit, because you know what penalty I'd recommend. Yeah, well, Bollywood is bad. It's the same thing for Nollywood. The Nigerians don't have really dark people. And Idris Elba would never be as big in Nigeria as he is outside of Africa. He'd have to lighten up. He couldn't be that dark. And he talks all that shit about Black Americans. Now, what about your grandfather? And so we have this thing called Jack and Jill for light-skinned, bushy people. And a lot of what colorism also determines people's religion. A lot of Negroes that want to like assimilate, they're Roman Catholics, they're Presbyterians, they're Anglicans.
I feel correct.
No, don't feel. Know that Caribbeans and Africans marry more whites than Black Americans do. In England, I've seen a figure: 9 out of 10 Black men in England marry white. 90%, and it may be more. 90. There's nothing like that here. In fact, this is why I don't like a lot of scam Africanists, fake ass liar Pan-Africanists, who tell us consciousness is all in the Caribbean and Africa, and we need to run after other people. And I'm not mad at anybody anywhere. I'm always quick to let people know I just told you, sisters in Canada. I have family in Canada, family in the Caribbean, family in West Africa, family in Europe. I've got Jamaican roots. I've got Barbadian and Haitian and Dominican roots. I'm a foundational Black American with family that's been in this country for thousands of years. So it's not a rejection of anybody that's cool in the diaspora, but we're talking about the assholes in the diaspora. Yeah, you do have a unique story in Canada, a unique story. But colorism is strongest, and the people run after. In fact, let's just talk about it. What is the foundation of the economy in the Caribbean? When you take oil away, prostitution, fucking white people. That's how you get your money. Tourism is basically cracking your ass or unzipping your pants. That's what people are doing. So don't be surprised if they marry people. At least they're getting married. People make their money. That's what keeps people coming to the islands and other places. Is white folks from Germany and other places come down and screw the dark, poor people. That's absolutely what they do. And if they were to cut out prostitution and sex, the Caribbean folks would starve to death. And I'm not picking on them. I'm not saying they can't grow their own food, but let's just be honest. You go down there for weed, for cheap rum, get yourself some double proof, and you get discount sex. Let's stop talking. Let's stop lying to each other. We talk about Black pride. I haven't seen much Black pride on a global basis, and and I've looked for it, and I found I was shocked. You mean we Black Americans are the most together Black people on the planet? Trust me, I almost fell out my chair. Us? Yep, nothing better. As jacked up and broke down as we are, we're ahead of everybody else. Imagine that. Trust me, I went looking to find it somewhere else.
So as hard as we is on each other, we need to give each other a little bit of credit.
Yes, and they do coon over here. They come over here to sell out. They come over here to assimilate. They come over here for their American dream because they can't achieve a dream where they came from. I'm not mad at them. I'm not blaming. I'm only saying they coon hard and they're rewarded. And by the way, often the people who promote colorism, in fact, where colorism is most atrocious, in Black America, you have a strong Caribbean influence. There's colorism super strong in South Florida. It's in Louisiana. But the basis of that are the color issues that people from the Caribbean who come over, color struck and white struck. They are harder than we are, and we're a pretty bad case. So for anybody that's African or Caribbean listening, we're not saying we don't have problems. We don't have a pride problem in talking about Black folks' issues. There's a lot of false bullshit pride among people in Caribbean and in the Caribbean and Africa that don't deal with this white worship. In fact, a Black person lives in the United States, they don't trip off the flag or being American. You meet people from the Caribbean or other places, they trip off of the island that they're from and being a part of the British Commonwealth. Even though the British Commonwealth, the Crown refuses to give people reparations. Remember all the Negroes crying for the Queen? You don't see Black people crying over presidents dying in the United States. White politician died in the United States. Come on, Q. You see anybody Black crying? Were people crying for Ronald Reagan?
You don't care.
Okay. Now, Kennedy.
Like we only care about one thing, Dr. Short, and you always say it. Just give me my motherfucking money. That's
right.
It.
Black folk cried over Black folks cried over Kennedy. Black people probably cried over Lincoln. And maybe Black folks cried over Roosevelt. Other than that, there's no white folk died. And I'm not saying to hate anybody. I like Tony Bennett. He was a nice person. I met him. Maybe a white celebrity or somebody that just halfway cool, but we don't cry over political figures if they die. But you saw Black folks falling on the ground over the Queen. Well, Idris Elba, he's cover struck. He's in the white folks. You see him slobbering on witch ass Madonna. He thought he could play James Bond. Who is James Bond, people? James Bond is a white supremacist colonial agent of the Queen trying to keep people down so England can live off of other people's resources. That's what James Bond is doing. So Idris Elba, as a Black man, wants to play an agent of white supremacy. And he's hurt that he got told no. Fuck him.
What he should have did is, because he does the comic book movies, he should have played the teacher of Doctor Strange. Because they're trying to go into that Marvel Universe stuff. The teacher of Doctor Strange was for anybody that's in the comic books, was somebody named Dr. Voodoo who was Black. So if they knew anything about the comic books, if you're into that stuff, that's what he should have tried to play. No.
Idris Elba has enough money to make his own damn movies. He should take his ass down to Nigeria and improve the quality of the inferior films that they make in Nigeria. to make some really good world-class films. If the broke-ass, slit-eyed Chinese can do it, I'm sorry. Why can't Africans have world-class films that relate beyond just one little small-ass culture? Make something universal. Idris Elba is, he's mediocre. He's a coon. He's a coon. He's an African coon, or as I say, Conti coon. For continental, Conti coon. Or my real term is Lafrican. Lafrican.
So you guys in the chat,
no, just try that. Lafrican. Just say it. Yeah, it feels better. Lafrican. And embarrassed. Lafrican.
So you guys in the chat, if you have any more questions for Dr. Short,
yeah, come on, y'all. Let's bring that, and we can talk a bit. Somebody pick some color stories, because we're gonna start. We'll come back to this. This will be colorism 1. We're trying to get this conversation. Who hates themselves? I know I never hated myself. I always liked who or what the hell I was. I mean, but yeah, I had cousins. One of my cousins told me, "You have life easy because you're light." I never even thought about it. My mother tells me stories. She had people that would attack.
Hey, Dr. Short, I knew when I brought the comic books up. I know a lot of us is old comic book guys. The brother said, if you notice where Marvel was going, the God figure or High Master Universal Ruler is black. Absolutely. Stan Smith, you know anything about Stan Smith is that he had a relationship with the Panthers. He basically told their stories. Some people feel like he was an ally. Some people say he wasn't. I don't know. But I was a big comic book guy, and I got out of that stuff. But the Marvel movies are definitely they can go a whole bunch of places. People that know comic books, they can go anywhere with it, and they can continue making money hand over fist. But like Dr. Short said, you guys in the chat, tell us some of your colorism stories.
Or either people are ashamed or they're afraid.
In
America. They're hiding. Let me give you a thing. I'll give you a colorism story from elementary school, but it wasn't.
Brother said Dr. Short isn't light. Dr. Short isn't light. Your cousins must have been blind.
I never said I was light. I didn't say it. I'm trying to figure out what. That's what I'm thinking. What are you talking about? See, the brother, Mr. Brown. I never said I was light. To me, I'm me. I don't say, "Ooh, I'm lighter than you." No, I didn't. But
he's in that pool.
But it's in people's heads who's light and who's dark. So I'm thinking, what the hell was he talking about? But my cousin was darker than I. So for him, if you're not like the color of a skillet, you're light skinned. You need to go to Africa, Brian, and have people call you and call Q and I light skinned. They look at us as light skinned. If you're as black as a phone, we are lighter than they are. Yeah, and their head.
I'm glad you brought that up. Tell us the story about when they look at you, and if you go to Africa, certain countries in the continent, how they could tell what tribe that you may be from, and your complexion, and how they use that as an identifier. And you better not be from that particular tribe or in that area.
Yeah, well, now, there's certain looks that certain people have. So if you're our complexion, yours and mine, we're red copper colored, you and I, they'd assume you're a northerner. If you're in the coastal or southern West Africa, you look like a Hausa or Fulani or Kanuri, people that they don't like.
Yeah.
Or that
go ahead, Dr. Short.
You follow? So I know what it's like to be in Kumasi, Ghana, and the women were laughing in my face. These two women that were visited, they were laughing in my face, and the comment came up, I look like an albino from one of the tribes. I was like a dark albino. For them, I'm thinking, damn, I'm not that light. But it depends. See, colorism isn't rational. It's not rational. I don't sit up thinking about this stuff.
Even to the
But
point where they
like I
said
said,
you acted right.
I'm going swimming, and the person's tripping off the fact that my face is darker than my chest. Damn. Why does that matter to you? I thought we're cool. Don't I treat you? Aren't I good to you? That nope. You're too light to be friends to me. And we do have people that sick. I was gonna give you this story, y'all. I remember having a fight in pre-kindergarten. We were painting at the little easels. You know, they have easels on two sides. It's like a sandwich board.
Mm-hmm.
And one white kid is painting, and they look at me and they take their brush and put paint in my face and say I was too light. And we started fighting. The teacher, of course, blamed me because I beat that kid's ass.
I'm quite sure you guys in the chat heard of the brown bag test, right? Tell me y'all ain't never heard of the brown paper bag test. You know, some of y'all, you know, like the brother Chris G said, he remembers back in high school, the African booty scratcher. This is the names that we said. This is the things that, you know, as we would say, the kids would say to each other. And
well, you're up north. They just use one word, nigger. I'm a Southerner, nigger. And I had never heard the word yellow nigger until I got into school in Washington with black kids, and I thought yellow nigger was Chinese until someone was screaming, "You're a yellow nigger." I'm thinking, me? I'm black. And I remember telling someone I was black. That person exploded. You're not black. And I'm thinking, what are you talking about?
well, Dr. Short, we heard it all. I heard it all. I heard the Irish would argue with the Italians and call each other the names.
Right?
And,
Right. Well,
and you had,
it's real simple. Let me just tell you. If my mother came to school, who's a little lighter than my dad, the teachers were nice. If my dad came to school, who was darker, the teachers, you know, your grades may go down. This is some weird shit, man. I mean, it's really, maybe DC is just, it's really fucked up. When Marion Barry first ran for mayor, he got Effie Barry, who's light skinned. That helped him win.
Mm.
When he got put in jail and came out, he got a dark skinned wife. The dark skinned wife helped him get votes, right? To bring him back to let him know he's with black people. Okay. So just understand that it's craziness. And like my dad was telling me that he was in the honor society when he was in high school in the 50s. And because he was dark, he was forced to wear makeup as to not offend the teachers or students that anyone as black as him was smart. They didn't want to see them when nobody black is that smart. So they had to put on light skin makeup. For a black school, this isn't a white school. It's black people. Since nobody black that's smart, nigga, you put some makeup on. So they made him up so he'd look lighter as to not upset black people who don't accept that people dark skin can be smart.
I'm not, Dr. Short, I'm not black, I'm OJ.
I got a female relative, brown skin, that likes watching period movies from the 1800s with all whites. Only black person that I know that watches Masterpiece Theater. Was once married to a Brahmin. You're talking about a Brahmin in Massachusetts or a Brahmin that's a Hindu Brahmin? You need to clarify which. Is it a Massachusetts Brahmin, like the snooty Negroes that hate everybody, that live up on Beacon Hill and live out in Hancock? I got snooty family in Massachusetts.
We got a few questions here, Dr. Short.
Yeah, but I want this person, Bruce, to answer. What kind of Brahmin are you talking about? Okay, now ask the questions. Let's see if Bruce come back with the response.
Hey, Bruce answered Hindu East Indian. Woo.
Oh my God.
Woo.
Okay. Well, I hope that worked out because they hate being black so much they commit suicide over being dark skinned. In fact, Indians committed suicide in America when they were declared black in the 1920s. Folks started killing themselves. We don't even have to get into that. That's deep. And let me see. Self-hatred central. I think the people I found with the most self-hatred are black people. And that's pretty hard to do. I got to give it to the island of Jamaica. I'm sorry, y'all, Jamaicans, y'all got us beat. I've experienced more black self-hatred among Jamaicans than any other group of black folks, and that's saying something. I'm not saying all Jamaicans, but many.
Yeah, Brian. Brian says Chicago is very colorist. We like our leaders to be light skinned in Chicago. Yes. Yes. We've been waiting for somebody to speak on it.
Well, but let me ask you, Brian, in Chicago, why in the hell did they get that a Barbara Jordan looking Negro? He looks like Barbara Jordan with retarded kid glasses on. How did he get in? And how could Dykefoot, who's not even from Chicago, how does she get to be married with that praying mantis Frankenstein looking white woman that she had? Answer that to me, please. Questions?
Oh my God, we got another one. Hold on. This one. After all this time shaking my head, light skin, dark skin, really nigga. Yes, it's a deep thing, Lillian Madison. And this is something I know that you may be of a certain age and a certain maturity that you may be past it, but it's a lot of us that's not past this.
Well, I may be. I wasn't in it. It's other people that are into it. We don't get to escape other people's psychosis. It's like asking a person of a rape victim to stop talking about rape. They didn't rape anybody.
Hey,
You
Bruce
got to
has
be
a
able
good
to talk
question.
about. You got to deal with this shit. We got to deal with it.
Bruce answered your question, Dr. Short. He left it for another East Indian, but she still watches Masterpieces Theater. Is she done for?
Yeah, we need to give up on people who are still into this. It's time to try to teach the young. Teach the young. The old people, they're finished. The old people are still on this dumb stuff. They're gone. They're never going to bounce back. They're in the Black Self-Hatred Hotel, California.
Obama has tons of cachet still in Chicago. Duke Foot was with Emmanuel. Obama made a few appearances, the new mayor. That's all it took. Dykefoot.
It is Dykefoot. Dykefoot. I said it. Dykefoot, Dykefoot, Dykefoot.
Dora L said, when we get our act together, Dr. Short.
I don't know. Maybe when we're in the concentration camp. And you know what? Speaking of that, Kamala Harris is so stupid. When people said that black folks are going to all get taken to concentration camp, she says, oh, good. Bring me back some frozen orange juice. She's so stupid. I don't know. I wish we. Huh?
Have you? He also asked, "Have you seen that movie? They cloned Tyrone."
No.
I saw it. Dr. Short will probably see it soon. I think it's a very interesting movie. I know a lot of people feel like it's super deep. I don't look at movies that way, where they're super deep. But we'll have a conversation about it once Dr. Short see it. Very interesting movie, though. It's a satire. I mean, satire based upon what goes on in some inner cities. Obama was the only.
What happened? What happens in some inner cities?
It was
What
very,
happens?
Dr. Shorty was a very stereotypical movie. You know, drugs, small town too. We'll discuss it. We'll discuss it
Well,
one
I
day.
don't think I'm gonna go to see it. I don't like to go to things that perpetuate the same old, same old. It's the same way that School Days, which a lot of people didn't like, and I think it took Spike Lee a long time for people to forgive him for that.
Obama was the only one with black women. Obama was only with one black woman, his wife. Obama is the biggest colorist.
So that, but the point is that Michelle Obama, she's no radical for black people. Obama may have a black wife. A lot of people have black wives. But what has Michelle Obama done for black people? She's sitting up in the house with him. When has she raised her voice? She's been out of office for a couple of years. She's never raised her voice for black people. She's only talked about herself. She got all that money when she was working in Chicago because she basically helped a white hospital provide subpar care to black people and to keep black people out of hospital beds so whites could be in it. Why the hell does people why in the hell do people give a damn about Michelle Obama? She hasn't done shit for black people and never has.
Ooh. Brian Brown, you right about this. Chicago Negroes pushed this sanctuary city thing because they're light with long hair. Possibility for interracial sex. Now we're being invaded by Hispanics in Chicago. We do dumb shit in Chicago. Whew.
They're doing it everywhere. They're doing it here too.
New York City's catching hell right now too, Brian. Catching hell. So far that Mayor Adams actually got caught in a lie and said he never asked for it. He never asked for a sanctuary city, which he did.
DC is a sanctuary city. Prince George's County is sanctuary. Black people that support the Democratic Party. That's why you have it. Not that the Republican parties give a damn about us. But let's just be honest. There's no excuse. No excuse.
Oh, yeah, Brian. Brian, I hate to say it, and I know a lot of people get upset when they say, when you talk about sanctuary cities, cities that got a lot of violence, a lot of our brothers and sisters say, when you call it out, they'll say, oh, you're using Republican talking points. No, I'm using the fact that these inner cities that are democratically ran are being destroyed by immigrants because they're sanctuary cities. Because these municipalities and governments want the money so bad and don't care that they're displacing you and I, who may be from a big city, with these immigrants. They had a situation in New York where they was at I think it was like a 3-star hotel, and they tore the hotel up and basically said that the hotel wasn't good enough for them. Now, these are immigrants saying this.
No, they're not immigrants. Immigrants go through a legal process.
Oh, yeah, they're illegal.
These people are illegal migrants or illegal aliens, period. Get your lies straight. They don't belong here. They have no right to be here. Period.
And they're here to displace you and I, you guys. Whether we want to admit it or not. See, a lot of people that say, oh, let them come in, it's no problem. They live in the suburbs. They live out in extreme urban areas. I used to live in a big city. I don't live in a big city anymore. But I could tell you that my family live in a big city. And when they're going to wake up tomorrow and probably realize that they're being displaced, because what happens is we're naive and we don't know what be going on, and we're not abreast. And you hear all of the people that know what they're talking about saying we're being displaced, and a lot of us are working 2-3 jobs, bending over backwards to pay bills, and don't realize we're being pushed out. Oh man, I'm on the ground. Woodlawn. Woodlawn is the south side of Chicago. The brothers are actually fighting with illegal immigrants now. They got in a fight this last week. There's prostitution there. Dr. Short dropped for a minute, you guys. He'll be back. Chris G said, I remember Brian Brown, our last 2 mayors are clowns. We've been getting invaded by illegal border jumpers. I remember when the aliens got dropped off in Martha's Vineyard. White folks removed them quick. Yeah, they absolutely did. They removed them with no problem.
Now, I was saying something. I got cut off. Did you hear me?
I didn't hear what you said, Dr. Short.
What I was saying to you is that when we began to get these neighbors, Spanish-speaking neighbors, I told my mother her handicapped parking space, they're going to decide to try to take that from her. They're not going to acknowledge the sign or the legal process. My mother went through all this to have a place because she's disabled. They're going to park their car and have all their friends park their car in her space. And they're going to test out to see if they can just take it from her. And so you know what happened. I had somebody's ass towed back in February, but I began to get the police to come in and ticket people's shit. Once they realized that you would stand up and you wouldn't kiss, they couldn't screw you. They don't put their car there. Otherwise, whenever they see someone black, where they come from, black people are dirt beneath their feet. When they come here, they expect us to be beneath them. That's why they brought them here. They know all about them and what they're going to do to us. The problem is that if we start fighting their asses back, they'll leave us alone, and then they're going to have to go after the other people. And I believe that's going to happen. Negroes are going to wake up. What has not happened is that some elite black people haven't been shot up by some Mexicans or others. It's coming. That letter's in the mail. When it happens to some elite black people and they get burnt and they're Democratic and no one helps, they'll notice. Black folks don't care about one another vicariously. It has to happen to them as individuals. I have to have my children disappeared by these people. I have to have my house overrun by people who have 50 folks in one house. Only when it hurts me is it real, because we don't like one another. Whether it's colorism or class, we always have a reason to not want to support or help one another. Only when it fucks that person where they can't deny it, because Negroes have their heads in the sand or up their asses, or both. And so to me, I hope that send some more people up here. Send them to some affluent black areas where Negroes have press contacts to finally force this thing out. Let the gangsters from other places, if need be, shoot some of these people so they can stop imposing this on the rest of black folks who they don't give a damn about. That's the problem. And you know I'm telling the truth.
Anybody got any questions for Dr. Cho before we close out?
Yeah. And we can pick this back up. We're going to do another one. Next time we need to call it a colorism show. We need people to come back. We need to talk about this. This could be an ongoing thing on color because it. And
Brian, you sound like you fed up, brother. You said them F's out there playing mariachi music.
Mariachi music. Well, you guys need to raise hell. Get them out. I mean, all of these stray bullets hitting babies and shit, and y'all can't deal with a handful of people. That's a weak ass people that can't defend their homes. That's a sorry ass people that won't defend their homes.
Yeah, I don't blame you for being fed up, Brian. Like I said, you may hear me laugh, but 2014, I moved, brother. I grew up in North Jersey, and I saw some things written on the wall where I had to move for the betterment of myself. And I got away from basically everybody, no family, no nothing, to where I moved to, and it's been better for me and better for my as they say, quality of life. You know, to be living in that hot box, and you be a guy, and you may be a guy of a certain ilk, that you got to protect yourself. You got to protect yourself from you doing anything that may cause harm to someone else sometimes. So I definitely understand, and we need to get out of there, or like Dr. Short said, they need to harm somebody, and we ain't condoning violence, but they need to harm somebody that's going to really take a stand against what's going on. Oh, he said Patterson. Whew. Patterson is terrible. If you're talking about Patterson, New Jersey.
Yeah, I've been to Patterson.
Whew.
I had a friend that was pastoring in Patterson. Damn. And by the way, a heavy Democrat area. Totally Democratic.
Yep.
And the black folks just vote Democratic, and they just go and put vote Democrat stuff on people's cars when they go to church.
I'm gonna tell you, Dr. Short, I was involved with some politicians in New Jersey, and they even know with their local politics that the most people, you want to be in column A, because even if incumbent is not in column A, the incumbent got a chance of losing, because most people just vote column A. Whoever's column A or column 1, they'll just vote down that line, because people don't pay attention. People just, like you said, they vote party. They'll see the say incumbent state senator will be there. I mean, the local senator will be there, and they'll just vote down the line, and then say, "Oh, I didn't know I didn't vote for you. I thought I was voting for you. I just voted column A."
Now, look at this. The guy said they charge you for defending your home more severely than career criminals in blue states. It's our people's fault. What policies do we fight for? Why are we reactive? Why do we wait until we're fucked by something before we respond to it? Why don't we go after what we want before anything happens? As long as we act and live like slaves, we'll be treated like slaves. Let's stop here, brother. We can do this again. Like this channel. I want to thank the person that sent me a donation. Someone sent me a donation. It was huge. Thank you. Let me see if I can find the name of the person. 1 second. Someone said, I was like, God, what's his name on here? It's YGLBT1. I don't know what that's about, but thank you. This person, which group is more damaging to the FBA? Colorists, black tethers, or racist Latinos?
Ooh.
I don't think that you can, hold on, you can't make that, you can't correlate them, because the racist Latinos down in southern Florida and colorist tethers are both there. In New York, you have both. In Chicago, you have both. And Connecticut, you have both. In Northern Jersey, you have both. In Texas, you have both. In California, you have both. So it's not easy. You know, you have a similar situation. So in reality, anything that's not for us is 100% against us. And we left out colorist Asians. colorist Arabs. So in reality, anti-Black racism, whether it is internal or external, is equally destructive to us. We need to get rid of or check all of it. I don't measure, and I'm not trying to be angrier with one group than the other. Everything that brings about the conditions and circumstances where we don't have our MFM, our freedom, and we don't have justice and integrity and dignity, it's equally evil to me. I'm not going to make one better than the other. I'm going to make them all unacceptable. We have to stop choosing between suicide or getting a headshot. We want to live and we want to prosper. We want MFM. Let's stop here, brother. Like this channel while you can. Shoot this thing out. We can have more of these discussions and they can be better. We just wanted to at least kick this off. We also want you to bless this brother if he has a donation thing. I want to bring everybody's attention that this is Dr. Randy Short. I have a new group called the Black American Constitutional Political Action Committee, aka BACPAC, BACPAC.info, INFO. You can read up. My new colleague is back in the office. We're going to be back to war. We want everybody to know about this thing called HR 4321, which is a Black genocide bill. It's an anti-reparations bill in front of the House Oversight Committee. And if it passes, there will be a law where you can't get reparations in any way or anything that's seen as repairing Black people from what we've been through. No state, city, county, town, or state can get federal money. People need to be aware. Look that up. You've got my email. It's everywhere. We're sending out information. There's a very wicked group called the American Legislative Exchange Council, and it's a white supremacist think tank that makes laws that's to prevent Black people from being able to live as human beings in America. Its nickname is ALEC, ALEC. If you can't find anything, email me. I'll happily send you information on ALEC. My email is wrandyshort@gmail.com. And I'm going to do what I can to put information on ALEC up on the backpack.info website. You can donate to Backpack. It's got a donation key at bacpac.info. Or we have a GoFundMe, which is under me, Dr. Randy Short. Or you can PayPal. I mean, everything we're doing, we're either getting books or we're hoarding up money because we got to go to war in this coming month. My PayPal is wrandyshort@gmail.com. It is also my Zelle, WRANDYSHORT@gmail.com. That's Zelle or PayPal. I want to thank the person that's using PayPal or Zelle. And my Cash App is $Dr. Randy Short, DRRANDYSHORT. It doesn't matter how often or how little or as much as you get, as long as you give or do something. The people who hate our guts are funded. The people that want to destroy us are funded. The people that we've trusted, we fund people, Black celebrities, stars, athletes, Black elected officials, nigger preachers, and they do not even raise their voice or even talk about stuff as we do on this platform and everywhere else I go. I'm able to speak like I do with the conviction that I do. You know why? The people who funded Dr. Randy Short are Black. And I'm not looking to switch my funders. The people who support me look like me, think like me, are me, and they can be anywhere in the world. As I said, I claim Canada. I claim Black Canadians. I got blood up on Nova Scotia. I got blood in Sierra Leone, blood in Liberia, blood in Ghana, blood in the UK and Wales and Ireland. I got blood all over. I got blood in the Dominican Republic and in Brazil. I got literally genetic relatives. Don't hate people in the diaspora, but I don't tolerate people not showing my people as a collective respect. and I don't tolerate traitor Black people that don't show one another respect or other people in the diaspora that are brothers and sisters respect. I am a fair person. But those who support people like Brother Q here and all the other people, Afro Elite, and my sister, Dr. Hollis, when you guys support us and we're beginning to make progress, it's because people give to us. It's because people help us. When I was reading that book last night, I didn't have money to keep up with all the literature. It's people's donations that do that. It's people's donations that enable us to keep 4 or 5 or 6 phone lines on, Brother Q. So when they mess with one phone or one computer, you have another. It costs to go to war. You know what I'm talking about, Brother Q. I have to change phones because they mess with two phones and I change a third phone. You have to pay for it. But you know what? The people have blessed me. People have given, look, I'm good with one phone. But when you hear the echoes and you hear people talking in your conversation, you know what I'm talking about, Brother Q. Someone doesn't like what we're doing, and that makes me feel great. And my attitude is to keep doing it. And I can keep doing it if people bless. So Dr. Randy Short, DrRendyShort is a Cash App. Zelle and PayPal is wrandyshort@gmail.com. If you want to look up at Backpack, it's bacpac.info. That's one place. I'm also doing interviews with Afro Elite on YouTube and Art New Style. I'll be doing something tonight talking about 4321. It is a Black genocide bill. You need to know about it. The news isn't talking about it. Our Black leadership is on DeSantis, and he's a monster. But what they're doing in Congress now will permanently destroy us economically and politically as a people. And we're the only people I know speaking up. There's been an embargo. We paid all this money to get a press release out. We'll be working on it. But the whole country needs to know we're at war. And everybody can play a role. Don't have to be on the front line. You can share these programs. You can push channels where people are talking about this. You can send a buck. When people fight against Black people, growing up with racists from Appalachia, the whole family was involved in their bigotry against Black people, from the baby to the grandpappy. All of us have to come together and begin to fight this, or else we have too few people standing up against folks who see a whole lot of money and our destruction. When do we wake up? When do we stop? So resist, pork chop feminist, fagonist, coon tards, black necks, self-hating Negroes, and all of this. Quit supporting and investing in your destruction, and put not everything, put 1% of what you play with on causes or people that you see bringing issues before you. The whole world would change if the folks who stood for something Black got any of the support that the people who are attacking us get. That's all I have to say. You guys take care.
Remember, family, hit the like button, share, tell a friend to tell a friend. And like Dr. Short said, pay attention to what's going on around you.